Rico Taylor. Chris Taylor. Okay. Rico is going to be doing some corporate work for Heinz coming up. Alrighty. Anyway, how did this get out? It was like a chair museum. We feature stools and the back chair. You know, now that we're getting near the holiday season, you get a lot of catalogs in the mail. I got the Tweets catalog. Does anybody see? You know, they don't use real colors anymore in catalogs. They usually available in red, blue, orange. Now it's called like persimmon, gourd, sandstones, eggplant, aubergine, sanguine, ennui. You know, it's like feelings are colors now, actually. Or celery, which, you know, that's always the kind of the ultimate fashion statement, I think, you know. And why eggplant? I mean, it's a squishy vegetable-like food. I mean, is this the kind of color you want? That's a gorgeous blouse. What is it, an eggplant? That would go beautifully with a skirt and a boneless chicken breast. Would be lovely. I mean, they don't use yellow anymore. It's banana. You know, it's like yellow with brown stripes, bruised banana. You know. And there's one color, I didn't even hear it until a couple months ago, teal, and now people use that for everything. You know, that's, what is that, a teal? What is it, a bluish, what is it, a red, black? It's like a teal. What is it, a yellow, green, orange? It's like a teal. It's a tealish, you're not wearing anything at all. It's like a teal. And I used to write ads for Macy's, too. I don't want to brag. It's sale, $9.99. I wrote that. Well, people stole from me. Anyway, we have a very funny comedian to bring him now who brings a great deal of pride to our home state of New Jersey, and to all of you here tonight can feel proud not only in, I don't know what I'm saying, but she's very, very funny. Mimi Gordon. Mimi Gordon.
How you all doing tonight? Yeah. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mimi Gordon. And my girlfriend is getting a divorce. Well, she's not actually getting the divorce. Her husband is divorcing her because he told her he doesn't need her anymore. You know what happened? He took yoga lessons. Now he can bend over and kiss his own ass. Another couple I know, they're getting a divorce, but in their case it's because of religious differences. Well, he thinks he's God, she doesn't. But divorce is hell. Dating's worse. I once dated a guy. You know, he thought he was really cool. He says to me, "Baby, go to bed with me and you'll never want another man." I said, "Why, are you that crappy in bed?" Same guy. Same guy was so dumb. He thought oral sex was talking dirty. But I'm married now. And, my husband drives me crazy. I often wonder, is it just my husband, or do all men not know the words to songs? I mean, what is it, some kind of a male bonding thing? You all get together and say, "Let's drive women crazy," and only learn 3 words to every song. You know, even the songs my husband likes, he doesn't know the words to. You know, he'll sing 2, 3 words and he hums the rest, off key. He knows all the words to the Star Spangled Banner, though. Be sure, they play that one before all the baseball games. That one he knows the words to. And what is this thing that men have for remote controls? What is this, the phallic symbol of the 90s? Really, this guy gets this thing in his hand and he goes crazy. You know, he's, zapping it all the time. And I get so confused. You know, I don't know what the hell's going on. We were watching this movie on cable, very, very sexual movie. And the girl and the guy are kissing passionately, and then they both undress each other. And then he takes her by the hand and he leads her over to the bed. He lays down on the bed. She lays down on top of him. And all of a sudden, I'm watching a guy in a black and white striped shirt yelling, "First down!" I mean, what the hell is that? You know, there's an Annie Says commercial on TV. You might have seen it. There's all these very pretty models and there'll be captions underneath them. Does it with her girlfriend. Does it with her boyfriend. Will only do it alone. Hasn't done it yet, but she's dying to. And that friggin' remote, it was 3 months before I figured out it was a commercial. He's always got that remote up. Sometimes I think it's the only thing he can get up. Another thing he does that drives me crazy is he can never get words right. I mean, he'll say one word and he really means another. Let me give you an example. I'm a very good-natured, easy to get along with person. Except once a month. It's that time of the month. And I get PMS and I get real crabby. Now my girlfriends say know how to handle me. They'll say soothing things to me and comforting things. But my husband has to antagonize me. So last month was particularly bad, and I was being a real bitch. I admit it. I know how I am. I'm a bitch. And instead of leaving me alone, the man has got to annoy me. So we started fighting, and we're arguing and bickering, and finally I guess it got to be too much for him. He says, well, what's your problem? UPS? UPS. What PMS you around? Right. Oh, don't you just love it when people screw up words? When I was a kid, my father used to say in the winter he wore terminal underwear. Terminal underwear. Now laugh, you were standing anywhere near him when he was passing gas. They were terminal underwear. My mother's school, she screws up words too. She likes that show where Andy Griffin plays a lawyer from Atlanta. I called her up last week. I said, hi, Ma, what are you doing? She says, I can't talk. I'm watching Maylocks. But I'm just as bad as anybody else. I screw up and I mess up words. But the worst thing I ever did was back in the late 60s, early 70s. I was still single. My girlfriend and I went to a club one night. We got a table. And this guy came over and asked me to dance, so I danced with him. He was real good looking. I said, ooh, huh? Bought me a drink, and then he kept asking me to dance. We danced pretty much through the night. At one point during the evening, I wanted to say something to him, but the music was very loud. So I had to talk directly into his ear. And when I did, he looked down at me and said, ooh, blow in my ear and I'll follow you anywhere. Well, I was very impressed because that was a very popular cliche back in the late 60s, and I thought he was very sophisticated. So the night went on, and we danced, and at the end of the evening, he asked, could he walk me to the car? And I said he could. And when we got out to the car, he asked for my phone number, so I gave it to him. And at that point, he leaned over and kind of nuzzled my ear. Well, I wanted him to think that I was sophisticated. I wanted to impress him, so I looked up at him and I said, ooh, follow my ear and I'll blow you anywhere. I really said that. Do you know he never called me? But several of his friends did.
Mimi Gordon. Alrighty. Where's the pictures? The camera's coming, right? I'm trying to figure. I just see Fledge like going, let me get a shot of the woodwork over there. I don't know where it's aiming. It's sort of just somewhere in the... I would like 5 wallets. So is there something in a... Oh, what I have. Something in a... I heard a word. A teal, I think. Something in a teal. Anyway, right now we have another very funny guy making his debut here tonight. And let's have a warm welcome for Russ Crockett. Russ Crockett.
Yeah, my name is Russ Crockett, and I'm happy to be here tonight. And actually, I didn't think I would say that when I got up here, but I kind of am. I'm glad I didn't go first, though, because, you know, I like to sort of stand back in the background and assess the crowd, you know, to see what kind of mood everybody's in. Because if it's an intellectual crowd, then I like to sort of tell my mind-expanding jokes. You know? And if it's you know, if it's a political crowd, I like to use the current event jokes that I have. If it's a real rowdy and rambunctious crowd, then I like to go to the dick jokes. So my first dick joke. Actually, I'd like to talk about mine because, you know, I find it really interesting because, you know, the other morning I woke up and I was lying there, and actually he woke me up, and you know, I was wondering. I said, damn, you know, this is kind of interesting. I think you know, when God was creating man, he probably said, you know, I've got to you know, make this this super organ, you know, for man, and he's got to have a mind of his own. And you know, in my case, I'm convinced that he has a mind of its own. I mean, he wakes me up in the morning, and well, actually, he wakes up by himself first, and then he wakes me up. And you know, the other thing that is kind of bizarre to me is that he's always telling me what to do. You know, I can't get over some of the things that he's, the situations that he's put me in. But in terms of telling me what to do, I mean, you know, I guess guys can identify this, and some women who are married and you know, kind of look to their husbands and sort of scratch their head. You know, it's bizarre. I mean, he tells me when to go to the bathroom. You know, he tells me what chick I should try to score on, and what? Excuse me. What'd you say? Oh shit! I'm sorry. He said I was being rude and I didn't introduce him to the audience. I'm sorry, you guys. Audience, this is Duke, the audience. Yeah. So, no, not Moby. No. But you know, he's gotten me in a lot of trouble though. You know, I was in a bar the other night, and you know, I was sitting there, and it got to be pretty late in the evening, and I had a lot to drink, probably too much to drink, but that's another joke for another time. And you know, he said, you know, well, actually, this young lady came over, and you know, it didn't matter that she was bald-headed and didn't have any teeth and had a wooden leg. He was banging me on the leg, saying, "Oh man, you blew it all night, so here's your chance to score." You know? So, you know, it was ridiculous. I decided the next time I go to that bar, I'm just going to leave him at home. He can get me in a lot of trouble. But actually, the other night was even more weird. I was with a young lady I just met, and we had gone out on a couple of dates, and we had come back to my place. And finally, you know, I thought I was gonna score. I went over to get my tape player, and I put in my Can't Fail tape. And you know, the music was playing, and you know, we got pretty hot and heavy. And I said, well, you know, this is kind of cool here, but I was real nervous and you know, kind of anxious because there was no protection. And this is not a day and age when you go in, especially being single, without any protection. So you know, I was sort of nervous, and he knew that. But, you know, he said to me, he said, "Hey man, don't worry about it. I got you covered tonight." He said, in terms of the disease issue, don't worry about it. I know this girl personally. I know she hasn't been promiscuous, and you're pretty safe, okay? And on the, he said, on the birth control issue, don't worry about that either, because I'm shooting blanks tonight. So I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, I said, "Okay, I trust you." So then he really got me. You know, I'm getting hot and heavy with this young lady, and he really got me. We were kind of there, and he said, "Look," he said, "go ahead and do it." So I did it, and you know, the music was playing, everything was fine, and he said, "Hey man," he said, "How's it feel?" And I have to be honest, it was feeling pretty good. And he said, "Yeah," he said, "It's not bad, huh?" He said, "It's almost like you're making music." And you know, I had the music in the background playing. I said, "You know, he's kind of right. It sounds pretty good." And he said, "It's almost like you're playing an instrument." And I never thought of it that way, but since he put it that way, I said, "Okay, this is kind of cool." And so he said, "Well, look, you know, keep going because it feels good, and I'm going to introduce the band." And I said, "Oh shit, what the hell is he talking about?" I don't know. This is kind of weird, you know? So he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very seductive trio. On the piano, we have Mr. Nat King Cole. And on vocals, we have Miss Billie Holiday. And ladies and gentlemen, a new member of the band, we have Mr. Russell Crockett on the booty." And I was like, "Oh, shit." You know, I mean, you know, he got me so wrapped up into this thing, and then this explosion happened, and I said, "Oh, no, what have I done here?" And he said, "Hey, man, you know, that's your problem, you know. I had a good time tonight, but," he said, you're on your own on this one." I said, "Oh, but you convinced me to do this." And he said, No, I didn't, you know. He said, I'm tired now, and I'm going to sleep. So, he said, I'll wake you up tomorrow morning about 8. So, you know, but anyway, he's getting embarrassed, and he's talking to me again, so I think I better sit down before he embarrasses me. Thanks a lot.
Russ Crockett. Hey. A vivid imagination Russ has been. Because I've heard of imaginary friends, but I never actually... Alrighty. Actually, about 900 people in that alcove area alone. If someone leans back, they all fall onto 2nd Avenue. It's an incredible thing. Well, we have one of the funniest guys in New York to be now. He's our top regular for the comic strip. He's been on Showtime's Comedy Club Network, Caroline's Comedy Hour, MTV Half Hour Comedy Hour. A very, very funny guy. Please welcome Bill McCarty. Bill McCarty.
Scott Blakeman, if you would. Oh, no. Okay. So, to be here in New York.